Hey guys, what's up? So we are very close to 2016 and it's going to be an exciting year for virtual reality because the first headsets are going to be pushed into the market. We're going to get our hands on the Oculus, the HTC Vive, we're going to get the PlayStation VR. So before we really get into 2016, I thought I'll do a quick VR roundup update video because there are quite a few pieces of interesting news that relate to the launch of these soon to come VR headsets. Because while most people, I think like me, are quite excited to see how they're going to actually establish themselves in the market, not everyone really shares that excitement. Because based on an annual retail survey conducted by MCV, which is a computer and video game focused magazine in the UK, a majority of UK retailers believe that VR headset sales won't live up to the expectations. 130 retailers were asked and 55% believe that VR in general will fail. They see it more as a temporary trend, kind of like 3D TVs, it comes and it goes, but it can't really establish itself. On the other hand, we have to say that 39% of these retailers think that these devices will be able to establish themselves in the market if companies invest enough effort and money into marketing it, and also, of course, if there is enough software. Now, I think that is an absolute key point, and I made a video about that in the past, that there is just not enough software, and I made that video like more than half a year ago. I'll link it down in the description. But at that point already there were not enough games, and now there are still not enough games. And I'm really waiting for the point where, let's say, Sony, for instance, comes forward and says, look, here is this absolute killer game. Anyway, go watch the video. I'll link it down in the description. But this news in itself is actually quite interesting. If you imagine, we asked 130 retailers and 55% believe that VR will not be able to establish itself in the market. That's quite a significant number. On another note, analysts from the market research institute IHS Technology forecasted that PlayStation VR will be the most successful headset on the market. They predicted that 1.5 million units will be sold in the first year, while the Oculus and Vive were only predicted to sell around 500,000 units. That is based on the estimation that by mid-2016, Sony will have sold around 37 million PS4s, and obviously that creates a massive install base for PlayStation VR. Also, you don't need a high-end PC or mid-range PC to run Oculus games properly. So they kind of forecast that will be the decision-making element in people buying a PlayStation 4 together with a PlayStation VR rather than a high-end PC with Oculus. Now, my personal opinion on this, do I think that Oculus and all these headsets will be able to establish themselves, and will they fulfill the high expectations that all these companies and the market kind of has? I think they will stay behind expectations in terms of sales, especially with the proposed price tag. I made a video on that as well. We know the rough price that PlayStation VR will have, and it will not be cheap. But compared to Oculus, we also roughly know the price for that. It still will be cheap. I'll also link the two videos in which I talk about the price tags of these two devices down in the description as well, in case you're interested. But I think these surveys make one significant mistake in estimating whether these devices will actually be a success or not. They focus way too much on gaming. And obviously, while PlayStation VR is a dedicated gaming device, no question about it, I think that HTC Vive and the Oculus have a much bigger room to grow into other fields. And I believe that especially the Oculus, because it seems to be an incredibly finished and well-working device, will, for instance, tap into fields like brand experiences, right? Where people try to engage potential consumers. I can really imagine it working well in things like architecture client presentations, right? Because most architectural practices, they already build all these models in 3D anyway. So why not build them in 3D, put this headset on your client, and then just walk him through the actual building that he will get? It sells the idea so much better. So I can really see it really working in this kind of field. Also, things like theme park attractions, where you might get the latest Star Wars experience on Oculus Rift in Disneyland or something like that. I can really see that happening, and I really believe that while gaming is obviously one field of application, it will kind of bleed into all these other fields and be much more financially successful in all these other sectors. Because It works great as a short-term experience. I myself had the Oculus, I mentioned it before, but I had severe problems with motion sickness, and I'm not the only one. Looking around the internet, so many people, including John Carmack from Oculus, who said the same thing, that this is one of the main problems of Oculus. It just doesn't work as a long-term gaming platform, really. So I don't see how I would want to play a 2-hour, 3-hour gaming session with these goggles on my head. While the experience is really immersive and the 3D effect blows your mind completely, it just doesn't work in these long terms. And that's why a 15-minute theme park ride or a 10-minute architecture presentation for the client, that's perfect. It's absolutely great. And I believe that Oculus and these other devices will make loads of money in these fields. Probably you will have a big wave of early adopters, but I personally believe then afterwards it will calm down in terms of gaming, because a lot of people realize it just doesn't work as they expected it. So in terms of gaming, I think it will be a temporary trend that will obviously grow in the future, right? So once we get Oculus 2, Oculus 3, Oculus 4, the next generation of these headsets, we will definitely see a growth in that market. And once they are small and not bigger than a pair of sunglasses, everyone will wear them and give themselves the feeling once they're riding the train, that you sit in a giant cinema and enjoy a movie on a big screen. So I can really see it working in that field. But when it comes to the first generation, I can't see beyond it being just a temporary trend, at least when it comes to gaming. Anyway, guys, these are my thoughts. I really look forward to 2016. I really want to get my hands on all these devices. I recently had the chance to get my hands on the Samsung Gear VR or whatever it's called. That was slightly disappointing. So I hope that the Vive and PlayStation VR and especially Oculus really live up to the expectations. So guys, if you have any thoughts on this, please share your thoughts down in the comment section below. You can like the video, that would be much appreciated. You can share it with your friends. Keep all the discussion down in the comment section below. You can subscribe to my channel, do all the good stuff. Otherwise, guys, I'll see you next time. Take care, and I'm out. Bye.